I made the 4 divisions of English football actual countries and leagues. This means the Premier League is still the English Premier League with the current Premier League clubs, but the championship becomes Germany and the Bundesliga, while League 1 becomes Italy and Serie A. And finally, League 2 becomes Spain and La Liga. Yes, with Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're starting in Division 4. Now, we're gonna have 10 full seasons and see who moves up and down through the divisions of countries. We're gonna find out if other clubs from different nations can come up to the Prem and overtake the English clubs. And we're going to focus on the 2 cup competitions, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, because as we know, all 4 divisions will be participating in those 2 cups and have an equal chance to win. Now, this might turn into something absolutely ridiculous, so I hope you stay and enjoy the ride with me. It's the English football system, but the 4 divisions are countries. Let's go. All right, so the first season is over, guys. We're gonna start in League 2 in Spain. La Liga, yes, Real Madrid and Barcelona, and a surprising Real Betis. They finished the top 3, so they are moving up to League 1, which is the Italian league, Serie A, while Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Athletic Club Bilbao, and Real Sociedad, one of those 4 will also be promoted. In Serie A, aka League 1, getting promoted to the Bundesliga, aka the championship, it will be Inter and Napoli, yes, and one of Milan, Juventus, Roma, and Fiorentina. And going down to League 2, aka La Liga, it will be Venezia, Frosinone, Sampdoria, and Lecce. In the Bundesliga, going up to the Premier League to join some of the English clubs, it will be Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen on 112 points. What a season. Followed by Bayern Munich. So those 2 will automatically be promoted, and one of Borussia Dortmund, Wolfsburg, Leipzig, and Frankfurt. And going down to Serie A, the third division into League 1, it will be Bochum, Heidenheim, and Holstein Kiel. And finally, the Premier League. It was won by Manchester City on 87 points. They only lost 1 match. Spurs came in 2nd, Liverpool in 3rd, Newcastle in 4th, Arsenal, a very disappointing season, in 5th, Chelsea in 7th, Man United in 8th, and going down to the Bundesliga, it will be Bournemouth, it will be Ipswich Town, and it will be Nottingham Forest. Now to the cup competitions in season 1, where all clubs in all 4 divisions in all 4 countries have an equal chance to win. The semi-finals, it was Arsenal versus Newcastle, and Newcastle went to the final. And the other semi-final, it was Barcelona from La Liga versus Manchester City. And then the final, it was Newcastle versus Barcelona, and Barcelona from La Liga win the FA Cup. But nice to see Newcastle go all the way to a final of this competition through so many difficult clubs. Now, what about the Carabao Cup in season 1? Well, the semi-finals, you'll be shocked, it had 3 Premier League clubs: Manchester United, Aston Villa, and Liverpool. And the other only club that was in there was RB Leipzig from Germany. The semi-finals, Man United took care of RB Leipzig, and Liverpool took care of Aston Villa. So we had an all-English final, and the final, it was won 3-2 by Liverpool over Manchester United. Season number 2 is in the books. We're starting in the 4th division, aka La Liga, and it will be Athletic Club Bilbao, Villarreal, and Osasuna that get automatically promoted into Serie A, the 3rd division, and one of Valencia, Sevilla, Girona, and Celta Vigo. Off to Serie A, the 3rd division we go. Who is going to be promoted to the championship, aka the Bundesliga? Well, it's going to be Real Madrid and AC Milan, and one of Juventus, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, who was also newly promoted, and Lazio. So Real Madrid is making some major moves. While going down to La Liga, it will be the German side Holstein Kiel. Back-to-back relegations for them. Cagliari, Salernitana, and also Genoa will join them in La Liga next season. In the Bundesliga, aka the championship, going up to the Premier League, back-to-back promotions for Napoli and Inter Milan. They get automatically promoted to the English 1st division. RB Leipzig, Wolfsburg, Bournemouth, and Union Berlin. They will all battle it out. And getting relegated to the 3rd division of Italian football, it will be St. Pauli, it will be Hamburg, and it will be Darmstadt. They are not having a good time. And the season 2 Premier League winner, the top division, it is again Manchester City, followed by Liverpool, Arsenal in 3rd, Bayern Munich in 4th, and Spurs in 5th. Chelsea in 7th, Man United in 8th. Where's Bayer Leverkusen? Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund, there they are. They were both promoted. They finished 9th and 10th respectively, and getting relegated to the Bundesliga, Southampton, Fulham, and Crystal Palace. Now we go to the cups. The FA Cup, the semi-final of Newcastle United and Atletico Madrid. Newcastle United, back-to-back FA Cup semi-finals, lost it both times. And Borussia Dortmund and Inter Milan also made it, and Borussia Dortmund beat Inter Milan. So the final, it was Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund, and it was a Bundesliga side in Borussia Dortmund that won the FA Cup. Now, what about the Carabao Cup in Season 2? Bayern Munich and Aston Villa. Aston Villa again made a deep, and Aston Villa actually beat Bayern Munich to get to the Carabao Cup final. The other semi-final, it was AC Milan and Liverpool once again. So Aston Villa and Liverpool both make the semi-finals, actually the final of the Carabao Cup in Season 2, an all-English final, and it is Liverpool, back-to-back Carabao Cup winners. Let's go to Season 3 and find out what happens. Can Liverpool keep this Carabao Cup streak alive? They've won 2 in a row. The end of Season 3, we're going back to La Liga, the 4th division. Real Sociedad, Girona, and Valencia automatically promoted, and one of Celta Vigo, Sampdoria, Getafe, and Lecce will be promoted as well. In Italy, Serie A, the 3rd division, it is Atletico Madrid and Lazio that are going up to the Bundesliga, and one of Barcelona, Athletic Club Bilbao, Villarreal, and Sevilla. While going down to the 4th division, to La Liga, it is 2 German sides in St. Pauli and Hamburg, an Italian side in Bologna. What a fall off, man. They got relegated, and Hellas Verona as well. In the Bundesliga, the 2nd division, and here we go. Yes, here we go. Real Madrid is promoted to the Premier League alongside Juventus, also automatically promoted. One of AC Milan, Fulham, Crystal Palace, and Frankfurt will also go up. While going down to Serie A in Italy, it is 3 German sides, unfortunately. It is Schalke, it is Mainz, and it is Dusseldorf. And the Premier League Season 3 champion, it is Arsenal. That's right, 85 points. Chelsea, what a season. In 2nd place on 71. Man City dropped all the way to 3rd. Man United came up to 4th. Liverpool in 5th. Bayern Munich, man, since they got promoted, they haven't really done anything. Inter is in 7th. Bayer Leverkusen in 9th. Napoli in 10th. Borussia Dortmund all the way down in 13th. And going down to the Bundesliga, it is Brentford, it is Everton, and it is RB Leipzig, man. They got relegated out of the Premier League, back to the Bundesliga they go. The cup competitions, here we go. The FA Cup in Season 3. Leicester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach, they went to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Wow, that's insane. And Leicester City went to the final. They beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. And the other semi-final, Newcastle, another semi-final of an FA Cup, and they lost again in the semi-final to Arsenal, which means it was an all-English Cup final, Arsenal versus Leicester City, and it was Arsenal. Arsenal won the FA Cup, which means Arsenal did the double. Now, what about the Carabao Cup? Man, Aston Villa is there again. Aston Villa, another semi-final, just like Newcastle, man. They lost to Spurs. Spurs went to a Carabao Cup final, and the other semi-final, it was Napoli, an Italian side, versus Borussia Dortmund, a German side, and Borussia Dortmund won 6-5 on penalties. And so the final was Spurs versus Dortmund, and Spurs won the Carabao Cup 2-1 over Borussia Dortmund. It's kind of ironic because Spurs won a trophy, but we haven't seen Bayern Munich and Harry Kane do anything yet. Let's go to Season 4. The end of Season 4, let's see what La Liga, the 4th division, is looking like. It is Eibar, Sampdoria, and Getafe that get promoted to Serie A, and Deportivo Alaves, Espanyol, Hellas Verona, and Lecce will also have a chance to do the same. I mean, in Season 4, La Liga has just become a division for all the worst clubs. Now, what about in Italy? Serie A, the 3rd division. Finally, Barcelona is moving up. They are going to the Bundesliga, the 2nd division. It took them 4 seasons. Yeah, Bergamo Calcio, aka Atalanta, will also be joining them, and one of Mainz, Torino, Como, and Fiorentina. While going down to La Liga, it will be Darmstadt, Bochum, Schalke, the 3 German clubs, and Empoli. In the Bundesliga, who is going up to the Prem? Crystal Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace, what a season. They're going back up to the top division, and Atletico Madrid is going to be joining them there as well. Wolfsburg, Leipzig, Brentford, and Athletic Club Bilbao will battle it out for that last spot to go up. And going down to the 3rd division, aka Italian Serie A, Ipswich Town, Hertha Berlin, and Köln. And the Premier League in Season 4, the top division, it was won by Arsenal once again on 74 points. They lost 10 matches, but they still got 74 points. Chelsea again in second place. Real Madrid did not win it. No, they did not. They finished in third. Man City in fourth. Liverpool in fifth. Dortmund in sixth. Bayern Munich, man, not having a great time whatsoever. Leverkusen is in 10th. Aston Villa is staying afloat. Nice to see Brighton still staying up in the Premier League, man. They haven't gotten relegated. Neither has Wolves, but going down, oh my, AC Milan, Leicester City, and Inter Milan. Both Milans are getting relegated. Season 4 FA Cup semi-finals. Inter Milan, speaking of Brighton, there is Brighton. They went to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Unfortunately, they lost. And the other semi-final, it was, again, Chelsea, well, first time for Chelsea, but Aston Villa lost another semi-final. So the final, it was Inter Milan who got relegated and Chelsea who finished second in the Premier League, and Chelsea beat them 1-0. Chelsea won the FA Cup. Let's look at the Carabao Cup in Season 4. Well, I can tell you that the Carabao Cup in Season 4 had 4 English sides. All of them were from England. Chelsea versus Newcastle United. Newcastle United finally won a semi-final, and they went to the final of the Carabao Cup. The other semi-final, it was Leicester versus Manchester United, and Man United won 9-8 on penalties. So the final was Newcastle versus Manchester United, and Newcastle still could not win a trophy, man. How many semi-finals and finals they've been to in this video? Just like Aston Villa, they lost 4-1 to Manchester United. Man United, Carabao Cup winners in Season 4. We are halfway through. This is the end of Season 5, going back to La Liga, the 4th division. It's Bologna and Espanyol and Cagliari that are going back up to the Italian division. Hamburg, Hellas Verona, Darmstadt, and Elche could also get a chance to do the same. In Italy, Serie A, the 3rd division, Valencia and Girona are going up to the Bundesliga. Sevilla, Torino, Real Sociedad, and Fiorentina, one of them will go up as well. While Osasuna, Parma, Getafe, and Sampdoria down to La Liga they go. The Bundesliga, who's going up to the Prem, guys? Leicester City and AC Milan. That's who's going up to the Prem. Barcelona, Inter, Brentford, and Frankfurt, one of them will go up as well. Man, Barcelona's been struggling. They haven't made it up to the Prem yet. Maybe they will this season. And going down, who is getting relegated to Serie A? Hoffenheim, Stuttgart, and Como. And the Premier League, the top division, is back to its regular ways. Manchester City wins it in Season 5 on 78 points. Newcastle, man, Newcastle has been very impressive in this entire video, man. They've been competitive in the Prem. They've been making these semi-final runs just like Aston Villa, just falling short. Arsenal in 3rd, Liverpool in 4th, Man United in 5th, Bayern Munich still struggling in 6th, man. They can't get anything done. West Ham also has been kind of nice. Brighton still stays up in the Premier League, also very, very impressive. And going down, Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Wolves, and Crystal Palace. Real Madrid's relegated from the Premier League down to the Bundesliga. That is actually crazy. Brighton had a better campaign than Real Madrid. The FA Cup semi-finals in Season 5, Chelsea versus Juventus. So England versus Italia, and Juventus went to the final, guys. And the other semi-final, Lazio versus West Ham United. West Ham and Chelsea, although they fall short. So it was Juventus versus Lazio in the final of our Season 5 FA Cup, and the winner was Juventus 2-1. Now, what about the Carabao Cup semi-finals in Season 5? Well, it was Man United who took care of business against Barcelona, 5-2 on aggregate, and Borussia Dortmund took care of Liverpool 5-3. The final was Man United versus Borussia Dortmund, and it was Manchester United 2-0 over Borussia Dortmund. Man United back-to-back Carabao Cup winners. Let's go. What is happening at Real Madrid, man? Someone tell me. They haven't even come close to winning a single trophy. The end of Season 6, guys, we're off to the races here. La Liga, like I said, it's become a league for just teams that are just terrible. In League 2, going up to Serie A, the 3rd division, Genoa, Bochum, and Hamburg. Hamburg finally got promoted, and one of Almeria, Getafe, Osasuna, and Parma. In Serie A, in the 3rd division, it is Celta Vigo and Torino that are going up to the Bundesliga, and one of Stuttgart, Espanyol. Bologna is making a run, guys. They might get promoted, and maybe even Villarreal. While going back down to La Liga, the 4th division, it is Eibar, it is Elche, it is Como, and it is Heidenheim. In the Bundesliga, going back up to the Premier League, it is Real Madrid and Wolves. Yes, Wolves beat out, man, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Absolutely embarrassing, guys. I don't know what's happening there. Crystal Palace, Wolfsburg, and Forest also might go up. While going down to Serie A, it is Valencia, it is Werder Bremen, and it is Freiburg. And finally, season 6 in the Premier League, Arsenal, man. Arsenal has been absolutely dominant. We actually haven't had a team win the Premier League aside from a Premier League team. Man City in second, Bayern Munich, finally a top 3 finish. Borussia Dortmund also in 4th. Man United, nice 5th place. Chelsea in 6th. Newcastle still staying competitive. Inter Milan, West Ham is there. Brighton, man. Brighton has been such a pleasant surprise. I cannot believe Brighton has stayed up this entire time. AC Milan, Leicester City, and Juventus get relegated to the Bundesliga. Let's look at the semifinals of the FA Cup in season 6, and for the first time ever, we have 4 semifinalists that are not from the Premier League, not from England. Borussia Dortmund versus Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan versus AC Milan. The final was Atletico Madrid versus AC Milan, and Atletico Madrid win the FA Cup. And what about the Carabao Cup in season 6? Real Madrid versus Barcelona in one of the semifinals. Finally, Real Madrid made it somewhat deep in the competition, but they lost to Barcelona. And the other one, Dortmund versus West Ham United. West Ham United went to the finals of the Carabao Cup, not FA Cup. But unfortunately, in the final of the Carabao Cup, West Ham came up a bit short. They lost 3-0 to Barcelona. But even though West Ham and Brighton as well have not won a single trophy in this video, they've been so impressive. They've been better than Real Madrid, better than Bayern Munich, making it deep in competitions. I love to see it. We are at the end of season 7, and Division 4, aka La Liga, looks like this. Deportivo Alaves, Heidenheim, and Parma will all go up to Serie A, the 3rd division, and one of Como, Holstein Kiel, Empoli, and Real Valladolid. In Serie A, going up to the Bundesliga, it is Valencia and Fiorentina, and one of Villarreal, Werder Bremen, Real Sociedad, and Ipswich Town. While getting relegated to La Liga, it is Bochum, it is Osasuna, it is Cagliari, and Real Betis. Man, Real Betis also very disappointing this entire video. In the Bundesliga, the 2nd division, AC Milan and Leicester City, they go up. One of Juventus, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, and Brentford will also join them. While getting relegated, let's find out who it is. It is Torino, it is Augsburg, and it is Sevilla going down to Serie A. And in the Premier League, guys, I cannot make this up in season 7. It's Arsenal once again. Yeah, 74 points, followed by Man United and Manchester City. Real Madrid finally had a decent campaign, but they couldn't win anything. Newcastle, still very, very impressive. Staying in that top 5, that top 10 all the time. Bayern Munich has been very disappointing. West Ham, still staying alive in the Prem. So is Brighton. And getting relegated, Barcelona, Wolves, and RB Leipzig, man. Barcelona, 5 wins in 38 matches. What? The FA Cup semifinals in season 7. Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa, yet another semifinal, yet another loss in the semifinal. Bournemouth went to the FA Cup final, guys. And the other semifinal, Leverkusen versus Barcelona. Barcelona also went to the final. And even though Barca was relegated, they won the FA Cup 3-1 over Bournemouth. While in the Carabao Cup in season 7, Man United versus Brighton also went to the semifinals, although they lost. And Valencia versus Newcastle United. Newcastle finally won a semifinal. They went to the final. Let's see what happened in the final, because they faced Manchester United. And who was the champion? Newcastle. Newcastle finally won a trophy. Newcastle won the Carabao Cup in season 7. Only 3 seasons left, guys. We're going to La Liga season 8. Salernitana, Osasuna, and Cagliari going back up to Serie A, and one of Real Betis, Darmstadt, Valladolid, and Holstein Kiel. From Serie A going up to the Bundesliga, and this is a surprise, Udinese and Hertha Berlin are going up, and one of Hoffenheim, Sevilla, Werder Bremen, and Genoa. But Parma, Dusseldorf, Como, and Heidenheim, they are going back down to La Liga. In the Bundesliga, the 2nd division, going up to the English Premier League, Barcelona is finally going back up with Brentford, and one of Leipzig, Wolves, Roma, and Bournemouth. But Atalanta, very disappointing from them. Southampton and Girona are going down to Serie A. And finally, the Premier League. My goodness, it's Arsenal once again in season 8. 22-8-8 on 74 points. City right behind them. Dortmund in 3rd, Man United in 4th, Aston Villa in 5th, Real Madrid in 6th, Bayern Munich in 7th, Chelsea in 8th, West Ham, Leicester City stays up. So does Brighton and Newcastle. They are staying up in the Prem, guys, and getting relegated. Liverpool. Spurs and Juventus. What? Liverpool and Spurs gotta be the biggest shock for me. I don't know what's going on over there. The semifinals of the FA Cup in season 8. Leverkusen over Wolves. Yes, Wolves went to the semifinal. They lost to Bayer Leverkusen. And Barcelona versus Manchester City. Man City beat Barca, so they're also going to the final of the FA Cup. But Manchester City lost the FA Cup to Xabi Alonso, if he's still there 8 seasons later, and Bayer Leverkusen. The Carabao Cup in season 8 had an all-English semifinal. All 4 teams were from England. Man City over Man United 4-1 on aggregate. The other semifinal, Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea 1-0 on aggregate. So the final was Chelsea versus Manchester City, and Chelsea won 8-7 on penalties, winning the Carabao Cup, meaning Man City lost 2 finals in season 8. And actually, Manchester City has not won a single cup, not the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, since the beginning of the video. The second last season, season 9, it is the end. Venezia finally do something in this video, and they get automatically promoted back to Serie A with Bochum and Real Betis, and one of Parma, Schalke, Dusseldorf, and Las Palmas. In Serie A, 3rd division, going up to the Bundesliga, the 2nd division, it is Sevilla and Augsburg, and one of Southampton, Ipswich Town, Real Sociedad, and Monza. While going back down to La Liga to rot in the 4th division, it is Salernitana, Sassuolo, Cagliari, and Deportivo Alaves. In the Bundesliga, Spurs and Liverpool got automatically relegated, and they got automatically promoted back up to the Premier League. One of Roma, Leipzig, Bournemouth, who's been actually very competitive, and Nottingham Forest will also go up. While Union Berlin, Villarreal, and Fulham has dropped down to the 3rd division of Italian football. And in season 9 in the Premier League, guys, this is a team that we've talked about the entire video and how impressive they've been. Well, they won the Premier League. Brighton won the Premier League, guys, followed by Manchester City and West Ham United in 3rd. Arsenal in 4th, Leverkusen in 5th, Chelsea in 6th, Man United in 7th, Real Madrid all the way down in 9th, Borussia Dortmund in 10th, Bayern Munich in 12th, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in 14th and 15th, while AC Milan, Leicester City, and Brentford are relegated. But Brighton, my goodness, Brighton won the Prem before Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona. The FA Cup Season 9 semifinals, Barca versus Real Betis. They went to the semifinals. They lost to Barcelona 2-0. Manchester City versus Liverpool. Liverpool lost 2-0 to Man City. So the final was Man City versus Barcelona, and Man City lost to Barcelona on penalties. Barca wins the FA Cup in Season 9. While the Carabao Cup in Season 9 had Brighton in the semifinals. What a season. But they lost to Man City 4-3 on aggregate, and then Juventus beat Atletico Madrid 2-0 on aggregate. The final, Man City versus Juventus, and Man City won the Carabao Cup. We are going to the last season, guys, Season 10. Season 10 is over, guys. Again, we're starting in La Liga, which is the 4th division, and yeah, it's become just teams, like we said before, teams that really, they just can't compete, so they drop down to La Liga. Darmstadt, Sassuolo, and Mallorca, though, they will be promoted to Serie A, and one of Real Valladolid, Eibar, Hellas Verona, and Empoli. In Serie A, the 3rd division, going up to the Bundesliga, Fulham and Southampton are getting promoted to the 2nd division. They've really dropped off, but they are coming back to the 2nd division. Stuttgart, Monza, Union Berlin, and Ipswich Town will have an opportunity to do the same. But Bochum, Mainz, Holstein Kiel, and Venezia back down to La Liga. In the Bundesliga, it is AC Milan and Leicester City getting automatically promoted. AC Milan, 117 points. My goodness, what a season. Juve, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, and Brentford, one of them will also go up. But Roma, Udinese, Bologna, Fiorentina, Athletic Club Bilbao, Sevilla, after 10 seasons, they're just stuck in the 2nd division, guys, and getting relegated. Celta Vigo, Lazio, and Real Sociedad. And finally, in Season 10, the Premier League, it was won by Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea. Bayer Leverkusen in 2nd, Man City in 3rd, Manchester United in 4th, Newcastle again in 5th. The Kings are finishing 5th apparently in this video. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Borussia Dortmund, Brighton in 9th place. Bayern Munich, just an absolutely irrelevant mid-table side. West Ham survived the entire time. So did Brighton. Real Madrid in 14th, Atletico Madrid in 15th. Spurs and Liverpool did avoid relegation, but they had horrendous seasons. But Wolves, Inter Milan, and RB Leipzig, back down they go to the Bundesliga. Let's take a look at what happened in the FA Cup. The first first semi-final, Arsenal versus Newcastle United. Newcastle lost another semi-final, this time on penalties to Arsenal. But West Ham and Celta Vigo was the other semi-final, and West Ham won 3-0, which means the FA Cup final in season 10, it was West Ham versus Arsenal, and West Ham won the FA Cup in season 10, officially winning more trophies than Real Madrid. And finally, the Carabao Cup in season 10, the first semi-final, Borussia Dortmund over Atletico Madrid 4-1. Chelsea versus Newcastle United. Newcastle lost another semi-final. Dude, Newcastle could have had like 20 trophies in this video, but they either lost the semi-final or lost the final, which means the final, it was Chelsea versus Borussia Dortmund of the Carabao Cup in season 10, and Chelsea did the double. They won the Carabao Cup 1-0. So what have we learned from this video? That's 10 seasons, guys. Well, the Premier League, it was not won by anybody except an English team. While the two competitions in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, it was won by a bunch of different teams. Newcastle, Barcelona, Juventus, West Ham won one, even Spurs won a trophy, but Real Madrid didn't win a single thing in this video, which is very, very weird. And neither did Harry Kane or Bayern Munich. So before we end the video, I actually want to see Real Madrid's lineup 10 years later. What does it look like? Well, Thibaut Courtois is still here. He's 69 rated at 42 years old, refuses to retire. But 33-year-old Rodrigo is still here, and he's 89 rated. And so is Vinny Jr., who's also 89 rated. Real Madrid has players like Mason Mount, who's 79 rated at 35 years old. And Jude Bellingham is also still here, 92 overall. Kendry Páez is 87 rated. They have an 85 overall Ian Matson, and 85 overall Aaron Anselmino. Nico Schlotterbeck is here, and the Polish international, who's 85 overall at 34 years old, Marcin Bulka. So honestly, I got no idea how Real Madrid struggled and didn't win a single thing this entire time. But Brighton is a team that absolutely cooked, guys. They have Gonzalo Ramos, 86 rated. Yankuba Minte is also 86 rated. And Francisco Conceição, 84 overall. Fedez Chaibi is also 86 rated, playing at Brighton. Federico Valverde is here. And 88 overall Enzo Fernandez, who's 33 years old. Jorginho Rutter is also 86 overall. And 84 overall Valentin Carboni. Oscar Gluck is 86 overall. Pedro Lima is here. And somehow Mateus de Ligt ended up at Brighton. He's 89 overall at 34 years old. Oh yeah, and they also have Mickey van de Ven. I mean, I don't know what happened at Brighton, but this team is absolutely stacked. No wonder they were so good. As always, my friends, thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay happy, stay healthy, always keep smiling. If you have any other cool ideas that you want to see on the channel, comment them down below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Real Madrid, bad. Brighton, good, apparently. Peace, 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 peace.